Part 3. My wife secretly rented our house on Airbnb while I was away for business, but when I found out she was living with her personal trainer while I was gone, I exposed everything to her family and watched her life fall apart. They interviewed Sarah for hours, and according to her brother, she broke down completely during questioning. She wasn't just renting out our house, she'd also taken out a $50,000 personal loan to help pay off his temporary gambling debt. She'd forged my signature on some of the loan documents, using our joint tax returns to qualify. She thought he'd pay her back when his big sports betting system paid off. The loan officer who processed the paperwork was an old client of hers from the gym, another example of how she'd leveraged her personal relationships to enable her deception. The police revealed that the trainer had a sophisticated system for manipulating women. He maintained detailed notes on his phone about each victim's vulnerabilities and how to exploit them. For Sarah, he'd noted her perfectionism, her fear of being seen as a failure, and her insecurity about contributing less financially to our marriage. He'd methodically used these insights to manipulate her, gradually convincing her that she deserved more financial independence and excitement in her life. Looking back, I could see how he'd planted these seeds of dissatisfaction, nurturing them until they grew into full-blown betrayal. Her parents are mortified. They're helping her with therapy and financial counseling, trying to rebuild her credit and her life. Her dad keeps sending me long emails about forgiveness and redemption, but I'm staying firm on my decision. The trust is completely broken. I've decided to sell the house, too many memories, and honestly, it feels weird knowing how many strangers have slept in my bed. Every room holds echoes of what we had and what we lost. The kitchen where we'd cook Sunday brunches together, the living room where we'd host game nights with friends, the garden we'd spent countless weekends perfecting, it all feels tainted now. I hired a professional cleaning service to deep clean everything, but they can't erase the memories or the betrayal that happened within these walls. My company's Japanese office welcomed me with open arms, so I'm moving to Tokyo next month. They're even helping with the relocation process and found me a beautiful apartment in Shibuya. It's smaller than our house, but it's exactly what I need, a clean slate in a city where nobody knows my story. I've started learning Japanese, throwing myself into the language studies as a way to keep my mind occupied. There's something therapeutic about focusing on mastering a completely new writing system while your old life crumbles around you. Fresh start, new culture, no reminders of Sarah's betrayal. The divorce should be finalized in a few weeks. Sarah's family insisted on selling her expensive car to help pay back the loan she took out. They're also making her volunteer at church and attend gambling addiction support groups, even though she wasn't the gambler. I guess they're trying to keep her busy and reformed. Some of our mutual friends have apologized for believing her lies about us having an arrangement. These conversations have been awkward and revealing. One couple, who we'd vacationed with multiple times, admitted they'd seen her with the other guy at restaurants but assumed we had some kind of open marriage agreement. Another friend confessed she'd helped Sarah set up the Airbnb listing, believing Sarah's story about me being totally fine with it and us using the money for fertility treatments. It's painful realizing how many people knew pieces of what was happening but never thought to verify it with me directly. The worst was finding out that our neighbors, Tom and Linda, who we'd had dinner with almost weekly for years, had been helping Sarah coordinate the Airbnb guests while I was away. They'd give out spare keys, handle check-ins, and even help clean between guests. Linda tearfully apologized, saying Sarah had convinced them it was all part of our modern marriage arrangement and the money was going towards our future family's nest egg. Finding out about their involvement felt like a second betrayal. These were people who'd celebrated holidays with us, who'd helped me plan Sarah's surprise 30th birthday party. Now I couldn't even look at their house without feeling sick. The only one I'm still in contact with is her brother. He's been keeping me updated on the legal case against the boyfriend, and he's actually planning to visit me in Tokyo next year. Said he always saw me as a brother and doesn't want to lose that relationship just because his sister messed up. Life is slowly getting better. The therapy's helping me process everything, not just Sarah's betrayal, but my own blind spots and the ways I might have contributed to our marriage's vulnerability. My therapist pointed out that while Sarah's actions were completely her choice, my frequent absences and intense focus on career success might have created fertile ground for someone like the trainer to exploit. It's a hard pill to swallow, but there's truth there. The decision to move to Tokyo wasn't just about escaping painful memories. During my business trips there, I'd always been drawn to the Japanese concept of kaizen, continuous improvement. Now, I'm embracing that philosophy in my personal life. I've started practicing mindfulness meditation at a local temple, joined a photography club, and even signed up for cooking classes. My Japanese colleagues have become more than coworkers, they're friends who accept me without judgment, who don't look at me with the pity I got back home. Sarah's last attempt to contact me was through her therapist, who suggested we have a closure session. The therapist explained that Sarah was doing intensive trauma work, confronting the deep-seated perfectionism and fear of inadequacy that had made her susceptible to the trainer's manipulation. Part of me was curious about this therapeutic perspective on our collapse, but a bigger part knew that understanding the why wouldn't change the what. The Ring camera footage of her playing house with her conman boyfriend while renting out our home to strangers was all the closure I needed. Someone suggested I write a book about this experience. At first, I laughed it off, but now I'm actually considering it. Not just as a way to process my own trauma, but as a warning to others about the subtle ways relationships can unravel. About how the pursuit of perfection can become a prison, and how the facade of an ideal life can mask deep cracks in its foundation. Maybe I'll call it My Wife, the Airbnb Hustler, a modern love story gone wrong, or Perfect Strangers, how my wife turned our home into a hotel and our marriage into a lie. The writing could be therapeutic, a way to reshape my narrative from victim to survivor. Plus, given how many people have been affected by similar scams, not just the trainer's other victims, but anyone who's had their trust shattered by someone they loved, maybe sharing my story could help others spot the warning signs before it's too late. My therapist thinks it's a good idea, saying that transforming pain into purpose can be a powerful healing tool. For now, though, I'm focusing on building my new life here in Tokyo. My Japanese language skills are improving daily, and I've even started dating again, nothing serious, just coffee meetings and cultural exchanges that remind me there's life after betrayal. The woman I met last week, a curator at a local museum, asked me if I regretted exposing Sarah's double life so publicly. I had to think about it before answering. No, I finally said. Some truths need to be spoken out loud, no matter how much they hurt.